Okay, welcome back everyone. So in today's video, you will get to know all about getting a leveling kit or lift kit, depending what you prefer to call it, for your Ford Bronco. Winston does his very first review, and I'll tell you all about what is coming up on the channel. So let's put the pedal to the metal and jump right in. Zone Offroad is already offering us a lift kit or leveling kit for our Broncos. This is fantastic news. You're gonna love what I've got to say today because this is a lift kit that makes Johnny pretty happy. So welcome to the channel. I'm Johnny from Johnny's Car Care and Reviews. This is your co-host and probably star of the show, Winston. And well, Zone Offroad is offering 1 and 2-inch lift kits. Let's start with the 1-inch lift kit, or what most like to call a leveling kit, because it's just simply spacers. Spacers that you add to the top of the strut, so it's super easy installation. Nothing complicated there. So it fits on all standard models. So whether you have a base or a Badlands, you can add this 1-inch lift kit. And it even fits onto the Sasquatch, because remember the Sasquatch package comes with 35s, or actually what are 34.4-inch tires. And it already has the crash bar beam in front of the tire and behind the tire removed. So that's true of the Wild Track, of course, as well. So if you want to get onto 37s and you don't want to have to worry about off-roading and really getting a bit of air and compressing down and having any issues whatsoever, you might want to consider just adding 1 inch to go up to 37 inches. Now, if you want to go to 35s on all other models, you're definitely going to want to consider a 1-inch and removing the crash bars, but really I'd recommend the 2-inch. Now, let's just start with the 1-inch. It's only $59.99 on Zone Offroad. So, and it fits on every model, including the Wild Track and Sasquatch. So at that price, it actually almost makes me willing to throw on their, $7 or $8 sticker decals because, well, they deserve it. And I feel that they should be encouraged because they're not gouging us straight off the start line. And actually, really, a lot of our Broncos, like my own, we haven't even started the race. We're still at the start line, eagerly waiting to take off. So, they could really gouge us. A lot of parts companies do really gouge you when a model is brand new and they say, well, development and whatnot. However, they're being extremely reasonable. They probably maybe realize developing spacers isn't the most complex job. However, developing good spacers, there are good spacers and bad spacers. Bad spacers will crack with time or just, basically crumble apart. This isn't the case, and that's especially the case for people that like to do a little, what I like to call some good old-fashioned redneck spacers. Back when I was quite a bit younger, I'll admit that I have partaken in putting hockey pucks and using hockey pucks as actual spacers to get a little lift on a truck for, well, free. That's not a good idea. They dissolve with time. They work at first, but really not a good idea. And this kit is far from that because it's actually extremely well built, but I'll get to that in just a moment. Now, for the 2-inch lift kit, Zone Offroad doesn't have a price yet, and you need to pre-order it. And I think a lot of us, we're going to be stuck between, do we get a 1-inch lift kit? Do we get a 2-inch lift kit? And we won't really know until they offer a price. However, it's still just a spacer kit, so the price shouldn't be that much more. Heck, even if it's twice the price of $59.99. If it's $120, $119. I think the 2-inch lift kit, personally, I think that's the way to go. However, like most of our Broncos, it's just not available. And speaking of most of our Broncos, hey, you know what? Ford pumped out in June 810 Broncos. That's not a whole lot, but at least it's some. So, their starting Bronco builds and delivering them to customers for June promise was fulfilled. But I'll get into more of that in an upcoming video and also talk to you about how many Broncos we should kind of expect to get built as the year progresses. And I'll let you know the news shouldn't be that bad unless we have, a part 3 of all this nonsense that's been going on and all this trouble we've been having for the last, year and whatever. It's starting to all just mesh in together. But let's get right back to that lift kit. So the 2-inch lift kit, if you don't already have a Sasquatch, is really what I recommend if you want to throw on 35-inch tires. Now, probably like a Wild Track or a Sasquatch package, when you throw on a 2-inch lift kit, you're probably still going to want to remove the front crash beam in front of the tire and the rear crash beam, that's the crash beam that's behind the tire, in order for you to have the proper clearances when turning. And also, more importantly, if you're off-roading and you're doing some high-speed off-roading, well, when you get up in there, when you come back down and the shocks compress, which, if you have Bilstein shocks, you're going to be a lot better off because, those shocks are made to extend up and then compress down. They're position sensitive. So I highly recommend those if you don't have them on the model and you are going to do some high speed off-roading, or you just want better, if you have really bad city or town or heck, dirt roads with potholes and whatnot, I do recommend the Bilstein shocks. I did a little video on that in the past, and I think they're fantastic. I've thrown on Bilstein shocks it's been about 15 years, but I was going to the woods and I found them to be fantastic on and off road. And if they're anything like the Fox 2.0 shocks on the Ford Ranger Tremor, which I also did a video on, those shocks made the Ranger a lot more comfortable on road, on, well, bad roads or on any dirt road that would have potholes. You get a huge advantage out of those. Back to the spacers. Whether you go with the 1 or 2-inch lift or spacers, they just fit right on top of the strut and are made of some pretty solid materials. Zone Offroad says that these are heavy-duty, semi-aromatic glass fiber reinforced nylon resin. Okay, so I'll admit I have no idea what the aromatic part means, and I'm thinking smell, so I'm confused there. But for the rest of it, I know it quite well, actually, because glass fiber reinforced nylon resin is exactly what the 2021 Ford F-150 is using when you order the work tailgate. And that work tailgate, that glass fiber reinforced nylon resin is made for you, to sometimes just kind of end up accidentally putting your X-Acto, your cutter into. So it's extremely, extremely solid material, and it's a long-lasting material. So you're good there for the spacers. These are obviously so much better than doing the good old country way of throwing on some pucks. So you'll be good and safe when you go with these spacers. So I really approve them. They get a huge thumbs up from me. The price, you'd think with the price that they'd actually be really cheaply made and of a poor, non-long lasting material. But I'm convinced these will be long lasting, even though the price is dirt cheap. Okay, so for durability of the spacers, you can definitely put the pedal to the metal with them. They get approved. Now, off to Winston's review, as I promised at the beginning of the video. Now, I wish I wish I could say that, he was taking over the family business and, doing a car review. But, well, Winston, you did a food review, didn't you? And, well, you could kind of say it's food. Kind of a little surprised by you. Anyways, he seems to have some pretty odd taste, but I'll never judge him. He's my boy. And hopefully you like his little review because it's kind of quirky. What you got there, Winston? Are those rose petals? What are you tasting? Do you like that, Winston? Okay, so that was Winston's review. A huge thank you to everyone that pitched in to help me get over, or help us get over 1,000 subscriber mark. And if you're new to the channel, please hit like and subscribe. It's free and helps feed a poodle. And for the regulars, as you know, as I always say, like and subscribe, feed a poodle. Well, here's your little bonus. Finally, we fed a poodle. So we had a little celebration dinner to celebrate that we hit 1,000 subscribers. And well, Winston got a little treat, and I'll throw that footage in right now. In the meantime, I wish you all more cars and more power, and really do hope that you get to put the pedal to the metal this week.
Well, I know you worked hard. You're a great co-host. Of course you'll get fed. Of course you'll get fed.